Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Drinks with Johnny. We haven't done one of these in a minute, guys, actually. It's been a few weeks where we've missed these follow-ups with just the three amigos here. I'm really excited to get into it because we haven't done one since I saw Brandon last. Brandon Lombardo here, everybody. How you doing today?
What's up? Give me the cheers, the applause. I like that. Wow. It has been.
And we haven't done. I've seen Sam since. Even, and I'm here in Houston right now. I mean, so much has been going on, and this has probably been close to. Oh, and we got Owen in the house. Oh my God! Stop the show. We got Owen in the house. How you
just
doing?
Blew the door down. Say hi. Say hi.
Uncle Johnny. What's up, buddy?
He's getting huge. You're big, dude.
Crazy.
Man, he looks so different. I just saw him last August. Like.
Well, this is a year, dude. Like, yeah.
I know a lot changes.
Grow really quick. I know.
But I feel like that was. I understand it's literally over a year ago, but to me it feels like it was a few months ago.
No, it's true. You've been busy, man. Time flies when you're on the road.
We've all been busy, which is why we haven't been here, guys. But we're so glad to. I mean, I don't know. Listeners, everyone at home, I'm glad you guys are here too, but I'm more excited that I'm here with my brothers right now, and we're going to have like a little recap on what's been going on over the last month.
Oh, I've been needing this. This is fantastic.
Oh, yeah. Me too, Sam.
Yeah.
Me too.
We were texting about this, and we were like, let's do it. And we were just kind of like, hey, we've had such stress. What makes us feel best is when the three of us are together. So let's dive in here, guys. And by the way, I got to say quickly while we got him on here, going down to San Diego, my daughter and I went down to see Avenged. We'll try to, and
we'll get there.
But on the way home, my daughter and I thought of a game, and I'm going to bring her in down the road of, we can call it boomer slang or something like that, where she's going to give us a bunch of new slang, and we have to guess what it is because it is hard. I got her. I'm like, don't tell me anymore. We're going to bring it up. So
I'll be good at this.
You would? You think so?
Yeah.
Well, that's good, dude.
No. Brandon's like the new dad that hasn't really quite grasped that he's a dad yet.
Oh no, yeah. I'd be curious to
as Owen just grabs the mic away from him.
He's been sitting here going microphone, and just.
Well, my son got all pissed because I told Charlotte she has a good pitch. If you guys like it, we'll do it. And then he's like, "Well, what about me? I can come on." And then I was like, well, what's your idea? He goes, I don't have one, but I want to come on. I'm like, tough shit. Get creative, dude.
Yeah, you got to get creative before you come on this show.
Yeah, it's not a free pass here.
You just got to barge in, dude. That's how you get on the show.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, actually, Owen and Frankie at this point have both just barged in at this point.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, with the Taran episode, by the way, when I was editing that one, I was like, should I cut these parts out? But they were so genuine that I was like, you know what? This is just like a really cool hang at my house. I'm just going to, and Taran was, let's start there. Cause like, I think that's probably the last time we all talked.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, when Taran came over to the house with his brother, I know for you, Sam, I had to leave. I had a flag football game right after, so we didn't get to talk too much. But like, I know me and Sam gave each other a big hug because we were like, that was just such a good hang. Like, it was one of those times when we have guests on the show. It doesn't always work out, and people have different days and different everything. And generally, we have a great time with our guests. But there's certain times when a guest is over at the house and we just like go like, that fucking clicked. That was really cool and that was really fun. And with Taran Killam on the show, if you guys haven't watched it yet, it's right here on YouTube. Go check it out. And his impersonations were fucking spot on. Getting to know a little bit more about the strike that's been going on. And then, of course, having his brother over, was a big Avenged Sevenfold fan. All of it was just like, I mean, while I was home for 5 weeks, that might have been like my favorite day of that time.
Dude, that was so fun. Brandon, you were the only thing that we were really missing from that time. I got a text message from my sister, and my other buddy Chris also texted me. We got to get a clip out of the Patrick Mahone impersonation he did.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Oh God, that part is so good. So.
Dude, when he talks about Zoltar giving him his powers,
genius.
It was so genius.
Dude, that seemed like such a good hang. It's been such a long time since we had like everyone there doing one. Like
Yeah.
the Medusa episode is the one that I think like maybe the last time.
I think that was the last time you were around for it. Yeah.
Yeah, man. We got shit faced.
When you come to Southern California again, we're gonna have to make sure we're doing an episode no matter what. We'll find someone. Yep. We got to do something because we got to get the band back together. Yeah, as 100%. They say.
But I take it back. I think we did like some kind of a live stream that was probably terrible for our Filthy Animal audience.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah, but that was just a VC chat. That wasn't an episode.
Yeah. Okay.
And everybody complained that we were all over the place, but I'm like, hey, it's a hang. We're having fun.
Hey. No one complained. There's no comments to read. It's just a VC chat, man. And anyone who wants to know about it can join the Filthy Animals by going to drinkswithjohnny.com and joining our membership there. And every once in a while, the three of us pop in there. Actually, not every once in a while. Once a month, we pop in there and have a little hang with all the members and let everyone ask all the questions and have a good time. Sam just remembers it differently because he started getting high. I remember that.
I don't get high. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's what it was.
High on life. He was high on life.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all right. So, Sam, you just went to Aftershock. How was that, dude?
Well, dude, I've been like concert like crazy. After we talked last, I saw Johnny's buddy Duddy with Rome at Beach Life Festival. Thank you, Beach Life Festival, again for the tickets. It was great. Nice. Jack Johnson was great. Avid Brothers. And then the next day I saw Dirty Heads, and I actually went to dinner with Mrs. Christ and our other friend Mo, and they had brought in Frankie and our other friend's son Gavin, and luckily they pooped out. I actually won tickets to that show from the last concert I went to. I signed up and I won tickets, so we were in the nosebleeds. Lacey and them were like all access. They leave.
It's so funny to me, by the way, because Sam knows these guys too, and I'm like,
I don't know. I've never met them. They're this one misconnect. I've never actually
met him. You were there when Jared and Duddy came over, weren't you?
That's pre
Sam.
Sam.
That was pre Sam.
Oh, that was pre.
That was like episode 1 or 2.
Yeah,
it was definitely one
and
of the
Fletcher. So fast forward Aftershock, I met Fletcher, and I pretended like I had met him that day, but I didn't. But I just basically, so anyways, Dirty Heads were awesome. I stole the passes from Lacey and Mo as they were leaving, and we got up front, and my wife was hammered. But it was rad because it was like the old Karen where she's like, let's fucking go up close. And I was like, let's do it. And then, so I'm there, and it's different for a dude than a girl getting up close. And she's pushing her way through, and people are letting her go. But a dude come in, and they're like, what are you doing? And because it's Orange County, there's all these Orange County ladies in these groups. And every time she would go past and I would get stuck, the ladies would be like, you go get her. Like, I've been there before. Go get that drunk girl you love. Go for it. And
go get that Karen. Go get that Karen.
Karen pushing her way through. But it was great. That was great. Aftershock was awesome. I told John
you there.
We had a great time. I'm gonna pass the mic, but I did have a story from Aftershock, but I'm taking everything. So
no, you're not taking anything.
You can't just say I have a story and then just not tell it.
No. He's got to learn. He wasn't there since the beginning, Brandon, as we just said. So we got to give him a pass. He's got to catch up a little bit on how to podcast.
Well, I don't want to take the glory from you guys.
Tell the fucking story.
Let's hear the story.
So Thursday was great. Saw my boy Johnny. It was awesome. Avenged did fantastic. It's so cool to see we saw the show and an arena setting, but to see it in a festival setting, which I think you did, Brandon. It plays both so well. It was really cool. I got to go side stage for Incubus, and I had like a little moment because Wish You Were Here the video came out around the time my dad passed away. So just seeing that like close really hit home. And I think it was actually the first time I got teary-eyed at a concert. It was pretty spiritual for me. But I also got to meet Wellen and Kim Dracula side stage during Incubus. So that was kind of cool to get to know some of the guests. And then I also got to see Fletcher real quick, talk to him about the Punk Rock Museum. Nice guy. But then on Friday, I was there for Limp Bizkit. Tool was great. I love Tool. I've seen Tool, but I wanted to go see the Limp Bizkit. So I drank a bottle of water. It was hot as fuck. It was like 100 degrees. And I'm standing there waiting and sweating before we even do anything. And the bodies are there. And Brandon, you've seen Limp Bizkit before.
Yeah.
The crowd is insane. and it was a great show. I stuck with it. I'm in the pit. I got real close, going crazy. They stop. We're standing there. I look like I jumped in a pool of water. I'm like just drenched. And I turned to my buddy Chris and I was like, dude, I don't think I can hang for Tool. I got to get some water. So I start walking away. And as I'm walking, I just lightheaded and I'm like, shit. And at Aftershock, have you been to Aftershock, Brandon?
Yeah.
So you got to walk a long way to get out of the crowd if you're really in it. So I'm walking and then I drop to my knees. I'm like, this isn't good. I'm just going to take a rest. And then as I stand up, I get that when you stand up too quick and you go blind a little bit?
Oh, yeah.
That happened. I was like, oh, shit. So then I go back down and I keep inching my way further, but it's not going good. Finally get the end. People are like, are you all right, dude? And I'm like, I need help. I need water. And some dude gave me water, put it on me. I cooled down. I crawled 2 people back where all the blanket parts started, and I took a 20-minute nap. So 40, I've learned I'm too old for the pit.
Okay, wait a minute. Let's back up here a little bit, bro.
Unpack it.
You just fucked our street.
I'm trying to really get. Wish I didn't bring it up. And get
also, while you're saying it, I have to point out, anyone who's watching on YouTube, the actual video of this, you're actually phasing out as this is happening. So it's kind of like you're passing out again. Like this is really good. But oh my God, you just ruined our street cred. For the record. Yes, you shouldn't be in the pit. You're part of Drinks with Johnny, man. You get passes for this shit.
No. I had passes. I want to be in it. I wanted to be in the pit.
And you just don't know how to hydrate.
Well, I drink a whole bottle before, but it was hot, guys.
A whole bottle? Man, you got to drink all day, man. It's all about the water. And by the way, I will say, though, that was a problem at both festivals. So when I saw Brandon... at Louder Than Life, that's the last time I saw Brandon. I remember we had to stop the show about 4 or 5 different times.
5 times, yeah. People were just dropping, man.
People were dropping, man. You got to stay hydrated at these festivals, everybody.
Kudos to Danny Wimber Productions, though. They put out the water, and as long as the bands are doing it and the security, they're throwing the water out there. So
they are. They're trying to take care of it.
They're trying their best. It's
trying their
best,
but you got 50,000 plus in one congested area after a long day in the sun too. We're talking about Kentucky and Sacramento.
Oh yeah.
These aren't like the most wonderful places in the world for weather. So let's be honest.
Oh, and you're talking it would be bad if people were just standing there, but they're going wild, using all their energy all day long. Yeah, that's a lot, man.
Yeah, and I know for listeners and people at the concert who aren't dropping. They're like, fuck, I really want to hear this song, and we keep having to stop it. But it's like, as Matt said that night, it's more important to make sure that everyone's safe. Stop the song, help the security out, help that person out, get whoever needs to go to, get hydration or whatever it is that they're passed out from, and we'll continue the show. And we were able to get through the show, luckily. I've been at shows before where we've had to, completely just walk off stage because we just ran out of time because there were so many stoppages. So it was really good testament to Danny Wimmer and everyone involved over there at these 2 festivals that they were able to keep the show rolling at least while it was going.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad Limp was really good too. I heard Fred met up with Kim side stage.
Oh yeah,
you sent me that.
Yeah, I actually saw someone post that I follow this little artist guy, and he was actually side stage, and he got the whole interaction, and it looks like he's a fan. Rightly so.
Dude, rightfully so is exactly right. After having these guys out for the first 2 legs of our Life Is But a Dream tour, they're so awesome. They are literally so fucking awesome all together and really nice dudes. Man, I can't say enough about them, honestly. I listen to that record more and more now than even when I had started listening at the beginning of the tour. And I keep telling them, don't forget about me. Because I'm like, they're going to blow up, dude. That's their first fucking record. Their first fucking record. And it's good. It's real good. I think that's what everyone's noticing in the industry. Including probably Fred, too. Is just that is their first go at it. And this is what they're doing. It's very impressive. It's very cool. Everyone needs to go check out Kim Dracula's record. It's so good. And there's such good people, too.
And the production and all of that. It's
Production, everything. It's fucking fantastic. Let's go back to Louder Than Life, though.
Yeah.
Because we jumped ahead to Aftershock, but let's go back to Brandon at Louder Than Life. Man, I got to see you like at the end of the night. I was texting you before, like, where the fuck were you? And then we had our compound and stuff, and Fred Minnick came back. Trey Cool was there. There was a bunch, I'm not trying to shout out names, but Fred Minnick was there, and he gave us a whiskey tasting back there. Chris Santos has at both places actually hosted all the food for us and bartenders, which shout out to Chris. Thank you again, man. Yeah, it was so much fun. Brandon, tell me about Louder Than Life for yourself.
It was a long weekend, man, but a long, fun weekend because I got to see a lot of bands that I've seen before and wanted to see, and some that I didn't see before and got to see for the first time. Then, of course, get to see my good friend Johnny Christ and bring my other friends around too. I mean, you got to see Sean Ye and Anna,
love seeing
and
Sean Ye.
Megan and the whole crew there. It was fun.
Oh yeah, I got.
Did you go every day?
Yeah, I was there every day. But
getting to see Megan too was a treat because I haven't seen her, like we said, since I came and visited UNO and shit. So it's been a minute.
It was fun, and then you get to introduce Danny Worsnop to Newcastle, PA, and I think he would fit right in here, actually. Danny
Worsnop was, I don't want to say in rare form. I think he was in Danny form that night.
Yeah.
He texted me later. He was like, he actually apologized. I was like, dude, you have nothing to apologize for. He brought his tequila, and his set was early, and he'd been drinking all day. And the tequila is good, by the way. I did finally get to taste it. It is a very good tequila. But yeah, he'd had a day in the sun. So shout out to Danny. Thanks again, brother. It was a lot of fun hanging out with you. But yeah, he was in good form.
Great form. I loved it. Like I said, he would fit in Newcastle very well. We would be best friends.
I did want to say, like, you sent me the speaking of Newcastle, you DM'd me the Gabagool costume. So there's a costume that's just Gabagool, right? And my response was, that is the most Newcastle costume I've ever seen in my life.
It's like a ghost.
Italian, just so Italian.
It's just like a classic ghost costume, but it's just a piece of like capicola.
That's awesome.
And it says Gabagool on it. It was fantastic, man. I loved it.
Oh, dude. But no, it was a good weekend. By Sunday, I was so drained. Everyone was, that we didn't even show up until Green Day. I went and got a massage that day.
But you wanted to.
What's who? No, I kind of saw. I didn't get to see Kim. Miss Kim Dracula. That was one that like kind of pissed about. It showed up late. One that I was kind of happy I did get to see though was Oliver Anthony.
There's a lot of buzz about them. Yeah, like that sounds. I gotta check it out a little bit.
Yeah, he's that like country dude and just has an acoustic guitar and just sings. And it's
just one dude.
Just one dude, but he had another guitar player with him, just kind of like shredding while he was doing his thing, and it was cool, man. Guy's fucking talented, and he was doing his thing.
I'm sorry to cut you off there. I apologize, but
no, you do it all the time. What's up?
I know. That's what I do.
At least a comment a week. I can't believe you cut off.
What's the show called?
Yeah, true. Okay. Wow.
Okay, tour Johnny's here.
Wow. Jesus Christ, man! Someone go watch the Ghost episode and see how many times he cuts off Tobias.
Oh God!
We get at least a comment a week.
By the way, it's a comment a day at this point. I feel like everyone's talking about how I'm cutting him off. I'm like, dude, I was just trying to have a conversation with a homie that I was on tour with. Like, I wasn't trying to interview him.
Filling in the voids,
whatever. It is what it is.
No, but please go ahead. What were you about to
say? So, did you catch Pantera?
I did. So first time seeing them. I missed them when they played Incarceration. That was cool, man.
Dude, I enjoyed hearing it. My point to cut you off was to point out the fact like I'm warming up for our set and I'm hearing fucking one of my favorite bands ever playing like all the hits.
Dude.
And I'm just like, this is awesome. This is so fucking rad. And then knowing like a couple of the guys that are doing it, Charlie, who's Carla's husband. I texted Carla and I was like, hey, tell Charlie. She never got back to me in time because she had a birthday a couple days later. But I was like, tell Charlie, like, if he's around, like I'd love to fucking hang. But yeah, they fucking, from where I was at, it sounded like they killed it. So that's why I'm asking if you were out there. Fucking, how was
They
it?
absolutely killed it. It was amazing, dude. Like, it was solid. Like going into it, I'm like, okay, it's like half Pantera, but dude, that was like fucking full energy. That was amazing. It was great.
Dude, I'm
Great way
so
to
glad. I'm so glad the more that I learned about why and how they're coming back together to do it, and knowing that Charlie and Zach were really close with Dime and Vinny, like that made. Well, how can you hate that after that? Like I only have known Vinny out of the band as a friend, and Vinny was fucking salt of the earth, just such a great dude. So like to pay homage to anything that he's ever done, and the late great Dime, never had a chance to meet him. I've brushed up with the other couple of dudes. Rex has always been great, but like just hearing it again, hearing those fucking songs played live, and having them done justice is just kudos, man. Kudos, love it. Couldn't say more about it.
Agreed. Definitely one of my favorite performances of the weekend. Honestly, probably the only video that I have on my phone where I had to just like, all right, I got to get a little video of this. It was special. Parkway Drive, though. Those motherfuckers were awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I didn't get a chance to catch them, but like they came back in latter life, didn't they? Didn't a couple of guys come back? I was doing whiskey tasting, so I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know.
Fred Minnick got me a little fucked up. I ain't gonna lie. Like,
It
there was
has.
a recap video on Avenged Sevenfold. There was a recap video on Avenged Sevenfold that Rafa put together of all of us doing it, and that was just a little taste of what we were doing. So it was a good time.
It's funny you say that because I literally saw that and I was like, "Oh, they did tasting. John looks, he looks pretty together." But it's later that wasn't, huh?
Yeah, it was later that I wasn't together, by the way, and that just tends to happen. But I will say, for me,
Pretty good though.
I wasn't that bad.
Good.
Brandon came up on the bus. Our friend Anna came up on the bus, and we were like to like end cap the night. And then Brandon had to go back to Megan. Anna had to go, and I was like, I went to bed. I didn't go back to the party. So, my wife, if you're listening, which I know you're not, I was a good boy.
In all fairness, the party had ended at that point, so there was no party to go back to.
Why'd you have to?
Well, that hasn't stopped him. Come on, how many balcony nights do you have?
I was trying to build myself up as like a good person. You just totally ruined it.
Yeah.
Do you remember all those like late, like 3:00 in the morning Johnny calls from the balcony that we used to get?
So I actually
why?
I have
Hey,
all the voicemails. I saved all of them.
Because there's no time.
We're gonna have to put those out. We're gonna.
I literally, fuck! I gotta shut my blur off here in a second. But I still can't even see it.
Yeah.
And all these voicemails just say Johnny Christ.
Yeah, you got to say
blackmail.
There's a lot of them.
No, it's not blackmail. I got no qualms with it.
No, they're great. Those are good memories. That's what I want. That's why.
For the record, I want to clear the record on this for like all of our filthy animals. The only ones that like really understand it because I would get on the horn with them too late at night.
Yeah.
Just so everyone knows, like I was home for 6 years, not knowing what I'm supposed to be doing, after being up all night, like every night, touring and everything like that. So like that was right when I learned that we were going to be home for a while, and I didn't know what to do with myself. So I was like, I like to be around people. I'm an extrovert. So I was just like, call my friends on the balcony, call everyone on the balcony. And I'm like, and yeah, it's 3:00 in the morning because I'm a night owl, man. And
but also during COVID, time was irrelevant at that time too.
Totally. But even getting back to it now reminded me of why, some things happen in life, and getting back to it now reminds me of why I was so lost for a little bit. Because like we finish up the show at 11:00 at night. We do our meet and greet. I'm not done completely until midnight, right? And even then, there's friends around, and I want to entertain and have a good time. On the very best night, I might be asleep by 3. Might be asleep by 3. You know what I mean? So it's like, and that's me just having a very mellow night. But you realize you get up for the 9 to 11 and then the 12. Like, it's just, and I hope everyone could understand it. Like, if you, how do I say it? If you have a 9 to 5, that's your 9 to 5. My 9 to 5 is 9 to 5. It's just at a different time, 9 to 5. You know what I mean?
It's fair. It's fair.
I do a graveyard shift, guys. I do a graveyard shift.
There you go.
But I enjoy
that
it.
10-pound bass is really heavy, guys. Just so you know, it's hard to
by
carry
the way,
around.
I've talked to so many people since that, Sam. They all understand what I'm talking about. You're the only asshole who doesn't get it.
I'm the only honest one with you.
Sam's the guy that stands in a crowd of people and passes out. Come on.
Exactly. He's got no room to talk now.
I'm the real hero here, guys.
He gives me shit. He's like, oh, yeah, is that so hard? You can't even fucking stand in the crowd.
Touche.
The festivals have been great, though. Met up with some friends that, like, from the show and stuff, have been really cool. Some other people that I just met, like bass player and guitarist from Incubus came back after Aftershock. Did you get to talk to him a little bit, Sam?
Dude, what the hell? Sorry.
No,
I got some
Sam's
weird
gone. Sam's gone. It's okay. Really fun getting to meet them. And STP, the brothers are back there too.
Nice.
Really cool to meet them. So a lot of times, guys, when I'm doing like radio interviews for these festivals, right? They come back and they're like, "Oh, what's it's a very typical question. I don't mean it in a derogatory sense, but they ask like, what's the difference between these festivals versus your own shows?" And I used to like not really know how to answer that, and I don't know why, but it's irrelevant. Basically, I realized this time around, I'm like, I just love hanging out with everybody else, all the other bands, all the other musicians, and like the camaraderie. That's what makes the festival cool to me. The shows themselves are great. You get more people, obviously, because we're all drawing them together. But like, and that's great. I love the shows, but the difference is the camaraderie in a festival setting. That's a complete difference to me. I enjoy both, but every once in a while throwing in a festival there, I'd like to continue to do that just so I could, for no other reason, but just getting to say hi to friends. Like we mentioned, Danny, Fred, a few other people. Like it's really cool, man.
I like festivals. They're fun, man. It's a good taste of this.
Your wife is texting me.
What, did you just say my wife is texting you?
Yeah, sorry. It always happens when we're recording. It's kind of funny. She's asking.
I don't know how I feel about it.
She's asking if if our kids are pussy enough or pussies or not to go to the scary car wash, and she asked if Frankie would be scared, and I don't think Frankie would be scared of anything.
First of all, Frankie wouldn't be scared, but the fact that you said my wife,
I know,
texted you and then used the word pussy,
and then kids.
That does not make me sit well, bro.
Oh, dude, I'm not going to bring it up.
So you guys want to talk about locker rooms?
No, God.
No.
We will bring up locker rooms though, because another thing that we could recap here is I had the pleasure of hanging out with Darby in Seattle and his brothers Zach.
You went to the pay-per-view.
I went to the pay-per-view. I went to Wrestle's Dream.
Nice. Was the show before the pay-per-view? It was on Saturday, right?
So that was Sunday. Was when I was in Seattle. Shit, that's probably only a week ago now. But it feels like 2 weeks ago. And right before that, so let's back up a little bit. In Denver, I had a day off, and they were just outside of Denver doing Dynamite. So I went out. I was able to take Rafa and Calvin, our guitar tech, and Rafa was able to bring his wife and his daughter Aria. And Darby hooked up sick tickets. We were ringside. It was awesome. That was awesome alone, right? But then he was like, "Oh, we're going back to our hotel." I went back to the hotel. It was amazing. It felt like they do the same thing that we do after our shows. We go back to the hotel. Everyone meets up at the bar. everyone gets in their cliques or whatever, but they drink. They're all having a good time together. And I hope I'm not giving too much away, by the way, with the locker room talk. But whatever. I think it's pretty well known, right, Brandon? That
I would think so. Yeah.
I think at this point it's pretty well known that like, everyone hangs out when. I mean, heels don't hang out with faces. This is a true thing. So I did notice that, like, everything's a little parceled. But then after that, I ran into Orange Cassidy, who's been on the show, and I was like, hey, what are you doing? And he's like, well, I'm about to leave right now. I'm going to a Dave & Buster's. I was like, fuck yeah, let's go. So
magic words for you.
Yeah, I was like, dude, I love Dave & Buster's. So we went, we hung out, and a few of the other wrestlers were there. I met Johnny Hungy, John Silver. Love that dude. A few other guys. And Chris Statlander was there. It was a bunch of people there, basically. But my point is that Rafa brought his daughter and wife. Aria, his daughter, is just about 4 years old, and she stayed up all night with us. She was playing fucking games and everything, and she's hanging with these wrestlers, and she's a big fan too. And I was like, this is why I want to do this. This is why, like, this is cool moments for the kids. You know what I mean? Like, this is cool shit. It makes me feel good to be able to give back to my friends' kids in any way possible. You know, like, it was really special. It was a really special night. And then that was Wednesday, and then by Sunday, I fly to meet my wife and kid so we could go to the pay-per-view. Darby's the headliner. You know, his first legit. He was like, "Yeah, I did the co-headlining thing before, but this is like my first legit headlining." And it was in Seattle. He hooked us up greatly, of course. And then, as it was happening, I was like, "Man, I don't know why. Every time Darby hits me up, he asks me like, "Are you gonna be there before something happens?" And then I didn't put two and two together until Adam Copeland showed up. I popped hard when Adam Copeland showed up. I'm not gonna lie, dude. I fucking popped hard. I was like, "Oh my god," because that wasn't on my radar. It really wasn't. It seemed like little. I saw little stuff on Twitter or whatever, but like it didn't seem like anything real. And I was like,
how much time was it between the cutover from WWE to that, or was he retired?
No. I could give you the exact time, Sam. WrestleMania, when we saw him against why am I trying to blank? Brandon, help me out here. Why am I trying to blank?
I don't remember.
Finn Balor.
Finn Balor. Yeah.
Finn Balor in that match that went a little awry.
Mm-hmm.
That's the last time I saw him in WWE. So you're looking at.
That's not true. He just did SmackDown. He did his last ever match. It was against Sheamus. It was to celebrate.
Oh.
I think he did.
I missed that. Sorry.
Might have been 20 years. Like, it was his anniversary. He was in his hometown. It was his first time facing Sheamus one-on-one, and that was his send-off match. It was recent. It was like a month, maybe.
Yeah. They picked him up quick, man. And
Yeah.
he looked good.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, that was and by the way, everything leading up to that was a fucking sick match.
It was, dude.
Not
Bro.
homerism at all. That was a obviously everyone knows I'm very good friends with Darby. Not homerism at all. That was a sick match.
I thought Christian Cage like killed him on those steps.
Oh
Dude.
my god, it makes my stomach turn to watch that clip, especially on that side angle.
If
right?
anyone doesn't know what we're talking about, just go to like clips of like Darby from Wrestle Dream when he gets thrown onto those steps. I was there, and I was like, so when he actually made contact with the steps, I couldn't see because I was on the other side of the ring.
Yeah.
But I saw him getting thrown off the ring, and I was that was a knocker day to be thrown off.
Yeah. Dude, it looked. I had to rewatch. I rewatched it like time after time after time again, and I'm like pausing the video to watch the frame. I'm like, oh, dude, that's brutal. That is a brutal toss, a brutal landing. Like, hey, man.
I don't know how much I'm supposed to divulge about that, so I'm not going to go too far into it. But I did see Darby the next day, and we hung out. So that's about as much as I can divulge on it. But Max and Zach, as you guys both know, who were over in Vegas, they wanted to do another pepper spraying, and I was like, I don't know where we're going. I was actually sick too, so this is the other thing. Like, I had a cold, and I was like, guys, I'd love for you to come back. Like, as long as you're okay with being around me sick, I just want full disclosure because I know you're on tour, I'm on tour. I don't want to get anyone sick that doesn't want to be sick. But Darby and them were like, no, we're coming back. So they came to the show, had a great time, and it was so much fun. It's always fun seeing Darby, man. He's a homie, dude.
And all the guys, his brothers, they're all
sweethearts.
sweethearts.
They're fun, man.
Dude, it was
Crazy
a really good time.
sweethearts.
Yeah, and they got to come. The cool thing is they got to come back before the show too and hang out on my bus while I was warming up. We brought a couple of friends and stuff. We took pictures and stuff. It was really fun. I mean, basically, all I'm saying about this recap is this has been an awesome leg of the tour. I'm not going to deny it. Like, this has been, aside from a couple hiccups, like, which, Sam, why don't you ask me about the hiccups?
Okay. So Charlotte, my daughter's first concert was Avenged Sevenfold at the Palladium. So it was a small show, intimate show.
That was our intimate show for Hail to the King. It was our first show back with Hail to the King.
And it was great. And it was awesome. We have, I think she was like 3 at the time or something like that. And so I was really excited that she was going to come to this concert. And honestly, obviously, like you do, you hooked it up. We had great tickets. We went side stage for Falling in Reverse. She thought that was really cool. Fergie was there. They really did. And I feel like that show specifically, they were on. It was really good. I also like that they did All-Star. Hey now,
dude, they've been doing it all tour. It's my favorite point of the set. It's my favorite.
Oh, I missed it the first time at the Forum, but dude, God, I was like,
I don't know if they did it at the Forum.
People up.
I don't know. I think they just started doing on this leg. I don't know. I wasn't there for the Forum. Sorry.
Well, it's a good homage to what's his name passing, but dude, it pumps up the crowd like crazy, and they do a good version of it. So, anyway, so we're there. I'm just looking for everybody. I saw you. Lacey wasn't there, like I thought, and then I know you're set, right? So I've seen enough time. Like, oh, this is gonna happen. We're gonna have to be here at this time. And Charlotte, by this point, is like, this is gonna be pretty cool. And I'm like, hey, do you want to sit in these seats, or you want to go up? She goes, no, I want to get up. And she was super stoked. And then JJ came out and delivered some bad news that Matt was feeling under the weather. And I saw you before. Mm-hmm. Did you have an inkling? Were you still waiting then, or
we were still waiting? I mean, we that's the thing that, like, so the comments after we had to announce it and stuff were pretty. They're comments, It is what it is. But a lot of people just thought like we knew the whole time. Well, there was comments saying that like Matt wasn't there. And I'm like, come on, man. Like like I said, Utah. I
saw you before.
Mikey
you didn't
Way
say
was
anything.
there.
Yeah, you would have told me.
No, it was literally up to the last minute because not for any other reason other than Matt really wanted to do it and he wanted to push through and he tried his very fucking best. Guy is a fucking consummate fucking professional. He wants to be out here. We want to be out here. Like that's what we found out about ourselves over 6 years is that we want to be out on stage again. We weren't sure. The reality is we weren't sure if we wanted to be out there anymore. And this is proof that he wanted to be out there. That's why it took that last minute. Like he tried, he tried everything in his possibility. Mikey Way, Eric Melvin's there, Doc Coyle's there, all these friends that we've had on the show that live locally. And they're asking me before it goes on because I heard that he was sick. And I was like, he's going to try and get through it. And we're going to see what happens. And I was warming up, and that's, he couldn't go. That's just the bottom line. If you can't make a noise, then what are we, I understand people are showing up on this date. They made plans for it, and it's fucking shitty. We made plans for it too, honestly. And it really sucks. We don't make these decisions with haste. You know what I mean? Like, Matt tried everything he could. We tried everything we could. And we're gonna make it up. And the announcement, I don't know if I can announce it right here on the show because I think it's coming out in a couple days. But we have a makeup date. It's gonna happen, and I know that sucks for people because they planned around it, and they probably won't be able to some of them won't be able to make up date. And I'm sorry, and hopefully you're still around when we come back another time. But the bottom line is, I just want everyone to know who is a fan of Avenged Sevenfold, listening to this podcast and watching us right now, like. It was a down to the wire decision. Like, we tried everything. Matt does not take this lightly. He does not want to cancel shit. We don't want to cancel. It doesn't matter. But like, it is shitty though, because then you see the comments and like, that hurts. That's like salt on the wound in a way. Like, you try for Matt, like, he's a big boy and he can handle it, but like, to see that after he tried so hard, and people just like saying like, oh, what a piece of shit and stuff like that, and like he wasn't even there. Is come on, man. You don't understand. You've never been in that position, and I know it's ignorance in the truest definition of it, right? So I don't fault these people, but it's like you just don't want other people to read the comments and then bandwagon on, which they do. And it's like, come on, man. You guys aren't in this situation, and I understand why you wouldn't understand what we're going through. I'm saying understand a lot here, but it does come down to understanding. Like we understand what it means to you, and I hope you understand what it means to us. Is the bottom line, and it's a shitty situation, but we're gonna make it up best we can.
You guys were bummed. So just as someone who isn't you guys, obviously I'm a little biased because we're all friends, but at that same point, you would have told, I'm seeing you halfway into the Following Reverse set. You could even say, hey, Sam, I know you're with Charlotte. We're not going on tonight. You might want to get on the road earlier. You didn't say that. You were hoping, you were doing it. And afterwards, I mean, you guys weren't stoked. It's not like you guys were on the high that you're normally, you're bummed. And then also, I was thinking about for the band's opening, people can complain, even if you did know, like say right before the thing was starting or whatever, everyone has traveled there. Why would you announce, and I'm not saying this, I don't even want people to speculate because it did not happen this way, but why would you tell everyone before Following Reverse goes on that you're not going to be there and just ruin their entire set for them? I mean, that's not good business for anybody, and it ruins the show,
And by the way, Falling Reverse and Kim Dracka are a great show on themselves, to your point.
Yeah.
Like they really are. And I know, most people are there for us. I'm not negating that. But the truth of the matter is that we were trying to make that show happen with all of our hearts. And I can't give enough to my brother, dude. My brother he did everything he fucking could. He literally did. And he's still struggling right now. We've gotten a few more shows in. He's still sick right now. It's not 100%.
Did you get him sick? You were sick earlier. Are you the reason why this all happened?
I might be.
I was going to ask that.
I might be. Yeah, I got sick in Seattle. So I was sick for a few days too. And by the way, for a few days, I talked to Zach and Brian, who we share backup mics on, and I was like, hey, which mics do you want me to go on? I won't go on them. I'll go on like one single mic and do my backup. So I'm not going to wear a mask on stage. Like that's probably not going to happen. But like I tried to separate myself as much as I could during it. But shit happens. And by the way, it's just going around. It's fall season. It's a cold. It's not
it's life too. I mean that happens in your normal job. Like that's going to happen in any job.
Absolutely, and there's not much you can do about it. Let's be honest. And it has gone around. The other people, Ronnie was sick last month. Kim was sick last month. Like it happens, and there's different variables of it. So it is what it is. Sorry for everyone that's there if you're watching or listening right now, but just know that we tried our fucking best, and we're still trying our best. We're gonna make that show up best way that we possibly can. And hopefully everyone can make it. I understand scheduling is a bitch. Like I know that just from having a family and doing this podcast with you guys, we all know what scheduling is like. It's a fucking bitch.
Oh, it seems simple. It seems so simple, but it's not.
This is the first time the three of us have been able to talk together in a long time.
Yeah, honestly.
Well, hopefully with the holidays coming out, things will slow down. We do this more often.
Well, I'm gonna be out. I'm gonna be out your way soon, so we can do this in person and have some fun.
Yeah, man,
can't wait. So San Diego, we've talked about that. We got that. Mm-hmm. From there, you went on
to Phoenix. We were able to do the Phoenix show. I was supposed to have Ronnie and Soraya on the show, but my bus was broken down, and the backstage was shit. So there was nowhere. I was gonna record on the bus. Would have been a really cool look, but. Long story long, they're going to come on when I'm home. They're going to drive down from LA. We're going to get those guys on for anyone that's
hey, when you come down, Brandon, let's do when Brandon's down. Let's try it.
It'd be fun.
That would be fantastic. I think if we could schedule it that way, we should, again, talking about schedules. Yeah, sure, let's do it. And then when it comes down to actual scheduling, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
But long story, I had the bus parked in front of my house. I was about to leave to go to San Diego. Like that whole day was just a fucking shit show. I was about to leave to San Diego at like 2:00. My son was like, he had a soccer game at 2:00, and he's like, Dad, I really want to go. He'd been out on the road all week. He had his football game Friday night. He did great, and then Saturday we were just gonna skip the soccer game, and he was like, Dad, I really want to go. And I was like, okay, let me figure this out. So I talked to my tour manager and bus driver. I was like, hey, can we just drive the bus over to a soccer game, and we'll leave from there and just go a little bit later? They're like, no problem, whatever you want to do. And so we were.
By the way, how badass is
Yeah,
it?
right.
Dad's just gonna get the tour bus to come drop me off.
It would have been badass, but it didn't happen. So what ended up happening is like he comes over at like 1:30 and he starts up the bus and he didn't like the sound of it, and there was a belt and some issues, which I'm so glad. Shout out to Smooth, my bus driver, who caught it early, because we would have been on the road and something probably would have happened. We would have been stuck on the side of the road on the way to on the way to San Diego, and so they start working on it. And I'm like hopeful. I'm like, all right, well, let me just take my son to his soccer game. I'll come back. Hopefully it's fixed by then. I mean, it didn't get fixed till late in the night, and then he was tired, so he had to sleep. I didn't get my bus in Phoenix till about 5:00, and Falling in Reverse goes on at 7:45. I was like, there's just not enough time to make this happen. So I talked to him, and they're like, yeah, we'll just do it another time. That was my long story there. But basically, it was from that point, though, and then showing up, I had to get a car service again. Frankie and Lacey were supposed to be at the show, but because there wasn't going to be a bus ride there and they'd already been out for a week, they were pretty spent. So I had to get in a car service by myself to go to fucking San Diego. And I show up there and learned I knew that Matt was sick, but that's when I learned that it was like, we're trying to figure it out kind of shit. And I was like, all right. By
the way, guys, he wouldn't have gone if Matt wasn't even there. So there's proof right there that no one wants to drive 2 hours to San Diego.
Fuck no.
2 hours? You kidding me? It was traffic, man. It took me 3 hours to get there.
Fuck that, dude. That's a terrible drive.
San Diego's cursed. Isn't that where you had that fight too when you guys Avenged had that?
Oh, no, that was the fight on the freeway with Matt going same venue, Chula Vista. Many years ago, we talked about on the episode of JJ.
Cam. Or it was JJ,
JJ,
it was JJ. It was a JJ episode. Yeah, man. Well, it is what it is. We'll make it up. I mean,
so you get to Phoenix. After all your bus trouble.
Got to Phoenix. Got through the set. Brian and Zach have been stepping up and singing some extra parts to help Matt out. His voice is good. It's just he's sick. So that's the good news for everybody. Like everyone who's worried and everything. It's not a vocal issue. It's a sick issue that's causing some vocal stuff. So it's like, it's not a long-term thing. He's pushing through it. We got through Phoenix, and then last night we did New Mexico, which, by the way, New Mexico is sick now.
Oh, really?
I did not know that. Last time I was in New Mexico 6 years ago, it was dog shit. This last time I was there, I was like, oh my God, it's like, there's stuff to do here now. Like it was really cool.
Like what?
Well, there was like, Old World was all cleaned up. Like you could go walk around like no problem, and which is like, it feels, I don't know, Brandon, you've been there. Like it feels like Sedona. It really feels a little bit like Sedona now. And by the way, like an hour outside, you get all the Red Rocks and everything too. So it's like, I don't want to hype it up too much right now because I'm actually thinking about like buying like some cheap property out there right now. So
you should, like, dude. I would do it for just the green chilies.
Dude, the food is awesome. By the way,
love it.
The food is awesome. But yeah, no, and the show was fucking sick. Had a great time. And let's go back to Phoenix real quick. I met one of my heroes, Dave Ellefson in Phoenix. He lives out in Phoenix. And my bass tech, Willie G, introduced me to him. Shout out to Willie G. And he stayed for the whole show. Got to talk to him afterward, and he's a really nice guy. I mean, he gave me props and everything. And like, to be honest, for me, when I used to transcribe Megadeth fucking bass lines, and then to have Dave Ellefson watch the show and come up to me afterward and tell me that I was good, pretty cool moment. Not gonna lie.
That's awesome.
So that was a cool moment in Phoenix, and we had a bunch of other friends in Phoenix. Derek Barton, who used to play for the Athletics, first baseman, went to school with him. He lives out in Phoenix now. Really fun to see him. Sarah Connor, who used to run a couple of strip clubs out in New York. She lives in Phoenix now, and I was able to say hi to her.
I'm glad that she beat the Terminators and opened those strip clubs.
She did.
I knew that was coming.
That's why. Hey, that's why we're still here, because she won.
Yeah. Strippers. Sarah Connor knew.
Oh shit.
Oh man. No, it's been an amazing tour. So far, we're here at the end of it now. But yeah, man, I'm just so glad to talk to you guys and kind of share a little bit. I mean, we can go a little bit further, but we're getting close to an hour already, guys. So
no one's
unless you got something else. Nah, no one's listening anyway. You got something else?
I want to get dark here for a minute and just talk about my mom's health. So if you guys would give me like 5 minutes, I just want to give you a quick update on that. Recently,
on the air.
Yeah, I think it's needed. Just so everybody knows what's going on. My mom's health has been declining. The other day she called me and she said that her brain wasn't working. She felt almost like she was hallucinating. It was, she needed some help, and she thinks she hurt her dog. And the last time she had this, she had sepsis, and it didn't mess with her brain. So I immediately just hung up and I went over there. I said, we're going to the urgent care. She has diabetes and all these other elements. So her dog's acting kind of strange. It's kind of limping, but not hard. She thought that her recliner crushed its leg or something, but she wasn't acting normal. Priority is her. So I take her to the hospital. We get there. She's kind of slower in speech. Her oxygen is really low. They run all these tests. Fortunately, they say that, and I said, if she had sepsis before and this kind of happened, they found she had a urinary tract infection, and any infections with diabetes could cause stuff. Her breathing was really low. They wanted to keep her overnight for observation. So after canceling a work trip, I was supposed to fly out that day. I had to call my boss and say, I'm really sorry, I can't come. I'm tending to my mom. Once we were there at 11 o'clock in the afternoon, I didn't leave until 9 o'clock. She stays the night. I go back to her house with her dog. Her dog, who's hyper as fuck, is actually giving me a solid and being normal and not jumping all over the place. I stay the night watching her puppy. The next day, she's fine. They ran more tests. They discharge her. I go to pick her up, and she goes, I have some news for you. And I say, okay. And she goes, are you ready? And I said, yeah. And she goes, I asked about my urine analysis before I left because they never told me. And they said I tested positive. And I said, for what? And she said, THC. My mom spent an entire day at the fucking hospital. I canceled a work trip. I told my boss. I changed my entire life. Thousands of dollars of doctors, tests, everything. My mom goes, when they told me, I said, I haven't smoked weed in years, and I haven't had an edible since my friend came months ago, and blah, 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 blah. And then she goes, oh my God, I know what it was. She was cleaning out her house, and from when her said friend was there, she had cookies, and she had the cookie behind the microwave, and she found random cookies sitting in a random bag that were probably disgusting. So she took a bite and she goes, ew, this tastes horrible, and passed it to her dog and gave the rest to her dog. So her dog wasn't hurt. It was high as fuck. So my mom,
I don't even know how to respond to this right now.
So I'm like, are you, and so I'm there like laughing and then getting angry of, are you a child that just randomly eats cookies from behind
Wait. Let's give a shout out to Alessandro, who's also just joined the Discord and is a good friend. He had the same experience at Louder Than Life.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Alessandro is a good friend. He's a friend of the band, and he just joined the Filthy Animal Discord. He tried Vengeance droplets.
Blackcraft.
No.
Guy is like 80 pounds wet. I swear to God, he's a very tiny man, and he told me before the show. He's like, I think I'm going to try it tonight. I was like, cool, man, cool. And I don't know what happened. He ends up at the EMT that night, and I'm like, okay, so my wife has been. Just so everyone knows, my wife's been the same. She asked years ago. She had a brownie, and she asked her roommate, "Am I going to die from weed?" And I'm like, just so everyone knows, you're not going to die from weed. You're not. You're just not. It's just not going to happen. You're in a different state. Try and ride it out. You're going to drink some water and try and ride it out. Like you ain't going to fucking die on weed,
dude. That is.
I'm so glad though that Sam told the story that way, because I was sitting there going,
I know.
"Oh my God! Like, did you not text me that your mom died?"
Well, no, I told Lacey, and I said, "Don't tell John the story because I'm going to save it for the podcast."
Oh God!
My mom's
I'm
"Don't
sitting
do
there
it."
going like,
no.
"Oh my God, where's this going?"
But you know what's worse is my director is after that was texting me daily for like 4 days. How's your mom doing? Is your mom? And I don't want to be like, oh no, she's just a child who eats anything around, and so I was like, no, she's fine. And then finally at one point I'm like, please stop asking about her. She's 100% fine.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, good.
No,
God.
she has a low tolerance to marijuana. That's all it was.
God. And her fucking dog, and her dog who is hyper as hell. I'm like, get off me. The night I spent the night at her house, I was like, this dog is really growing up. It's really cool. It's just because it was high as fuck.
You need to get that dog some fucking
Yeah, I'm gonna start
dude.
feeding it some edibles every time I see it. Yeah.
Oh man!
I just wanted to end that story with you guys. So.
Yeah, dude, I love it.
That was a great story.
Yeah, it was well told, Sam. Well told. I was a little worried. A little worried, but you pulled it together.
Appreciate you guys,
I appreciate it. No, dude. It's so funny when I hear these stories of people like who just freak the fuck out on weed, and I'm
I told you one not too long ago about my mother-in-law who ate a cookie and went to the hospital. Yeah,
I just don't.
How do they not test and tell you
it.
right off the bat like you're fucked? Is it just because it's legal that they don't test like that anymore? Like,
no,
why
it's
wouldn't
because
they...
It's because no one's going in there and being like, I just ate a bunch of edibles. They're just going like, I feel weird. It's like, wait. Just tell me you ate edibles, and they're gonna be like, you're fucking high. Chill out, bro.
Yeah.
You just gotta be. Let's actually do a PSA on that. Doctors, nurses, everyone involved is not there to judge you. Be honest with them. Like honest, like that's the whole thing. Like if you fucking took some edibles or you did whatever, just tell them so that they know how to
help
treat you.
Yeah,
exactly. Like it's not that hard. Like they're not going to throw you in jail, dude. Like,
it's legal.
That's not their job.
This PSA was brought to you by Weed
Oreos. Oh
wow.
wait, that's not Oreos.
Are they chocolate covered too? I'll have one of these.
All right. Well, Brandon's about to do that. I'm about to go play some Top Golf and go to dinner. I don't know, Sam. What do you got going on tonight?
Yeah, I'm gonna go start dinner for the family.
Yeah, fucking boring ass old man over there is gonna go do his thing. But
make sure you drink a bottle of water. So you don't
I'm gonna go hydrate, guys.
This has been fun, guys. Thank you guys for hopping on today again, as always. And everyone at home, listening, watching, thank you guys. We got so much more coming in. We are actually working on shit, believe it or not. So we're gonna keep bringing you episodes every Tuesday. I'm holding you guys accountable as well.
100% of the time until it's not.
Yeah.
100% of the time on Tuesday, 60% of the time, but occasionally on Friday. So, anyways, thank you guys. Thanks everyone.